Hi, what brings you to session today?
Well, like so much, honestly. My house just burned down yesterday, and I'm just kind of like in a total state of shock and like disbelief and panic.
Oh my gosh, that sounds very scary. Was anybody injured in this?
Luckily, no one was injured. I was the only one home, and I was able to like get my cat out in time and like call emergency responders, but like everything is lost.
So it's a total loss.
Yeah.
Wow, that must be a lot to go through. Have you contacted friends and family? Do you have any support right now?
Yeah, I panic contacted like my mom first. My son was luckily at school when this all happened. I let some friends know, like I'm in a few big like community group chats and have let people know. And there's like a lot of like verbal and emotional or like spiritual support and like love and prayers stuff, but like none of that touches the fact that like my entire life and all of my belongings are as just like demolished.
Okay, so right now you're feeling in a situation where you're getting a lot of emotional support, but that doesn't really change the fact that what has happened has happened.
Yeah.
So let's, talk a little bit about physical support. Where are you and your son going to be staying?
Well, we last night were able to drive to Syracuse where my mom lives. And we're staying with her, but she's in like a tiny little one-bedroom apartment. So that puts like her on the couch while my son and I are sleeping in her bedroom. I honestly don't even know where to begin with trying to like rebuild life.
Okay, okay. Have we contacted any of the emergency housing services or the emergency response services in situations like these that are in your local community?
I haven't even had like the bandwidth to explore that at this point. I feel like when I think of like housing services, it's like we're in a shelter or something, and it's like I don't know what I I'm not really interested in like staying in a shelter, I guess, with my son or that sort of thing. But I guess hearing myself say that now, I don't really know if there's any other like services available that could help us access housing. But it's not even so much accessing housing. It's like, well, what do we do when we get there? We don't have beds, we don't have furniture, we don't have like any, all of my son's toys are lost, like no clothes, like everything is lost.
Okay, so what I hear is you don't want to end up in a housing situation like a shelter. I assume that is out of fear of safety for, you and your son. And you are not having a lot of knowledge around the other services that are out there. Okay. So, that is definitely something that I would be willing to help you with. But I also hear that where you said that, you haven't even had the time to think about this and that this is all very overwhelming and scary for you. So, something I would like to ask you, and it's totally okay if you don't know this answer, is, what do you think you need right now? How can I best be of assistance to you?
Um, what I need right now is like 3 weeks in a cabin in the woods and like total isolation to process
Yeah.
what has happened. But as far as, yeah, I mean, realistically, my physical needs are like we need access to maybe clothing, right? Like we have shelter and food and money. But it's like we need to rebuild everything, like kitchen supplies, furniture, clothing, everything that you take for granted and like the day to day in your home is gone.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. So I'm hearing you right now. Your focus is on those immediate necessities like clothes, like toothbrushes, socks, all of those things. Okay. So, let me ask you because I hear that you say you have these big communities. So, I want to give you two options that I'm thinking right now. There are plenty of, again, emergency services out there and churches and all sorts of things that I can help you locate the resources for donations. But I was also wondering if maybe reaching out to your community with a list of the things that you have mentioned here, if you think that might be something that you would have positive feedback.
Yeah, that's actually a really good idea that hadn't even crossed my mind. Because I had just kind of like sent a message to those groups saying what had happened without actually like verbalizing any immediate needs. Um, so that's actually a really good idea. That feels like something I could do like right now.
Great. So with that being said, you were at your mother's house and you state that as of, for the immediate needs, you feel safe there. You plan to reach out to your community for those immediate necessities. Why don't we have another scheduled session maybe in a day or two when you've had some more time to think? And we can start looking over some of those housing options if that is something that you would like assistance with.
Yeah, yeah, that's great. It feels good to feel like anchored right now to like a little, even if it's just like one small step of reaching out to community with needs, like it feels like a place to start that I hadn't thought of. So thank you.
Yeah, great. In a situation like this, we don't want to take things all on at once. And, if you were saying that for a very temporary time that you and your son are emotionally and physically safe at your mother's house, why don't we focus on that immediate need that you were talking about, like the clothes and the hygiene products. And when you're feeling a little more processed, not that you're ever going to fully process this and ready, we can explore those housing options that are not shelters, as I hear that that's not something you want.
Great. Yeah, thank you so much. I'd be happy to schedule again for a couple days.
Okay, great. How does next Thursday sound?
Perfect. Thank you.
Perfect. We will see each other then. And if you need anything in the meantime or something comes up, please call the office.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Great. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.